right, so let me tell you how a whole bunch of resistance got me to where I am right now and in front of you doing my first episode of my podcast. Till the moment that I sat here, I still had so much resistance. Like the mic wasn't working, and I was just like, I don't have another mic that could work, and I was just like, nah, maybe I'll try again tomorrow. I've been trying to record this same podcast for so long, and I'm a little nervous, but I had to push myself to do it because I know this is what I'm meant to be doing with my life, regardless of what else I have going on. When it's something that you're supposed to be doing, resistance just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Ooh, right now I'm facing resistance. I can't even lie. So, how did I end up here recording a podcast that I've been trying to record for years, but just faced so much resistance in doing it because of so many different reasons? I had a whole document ready, typed up, resisted that. Today, I didn't even plan on recording my first podcast, but I was like, let me just do it now or I'll never do it. I just need to do it. This feels so weird. I can't even lie. It feels so weird talking to this phone at this moment, but I'm just going to push through it. First of all, this page, I know I have fashion hacks and I have a lot of fashion things on here, but I've been learning something lately. I don't want to box myself in. I don't want to box myself into just one thing anymore. I want to be able to do what I feel. And wellness is a huge part of my life and a huge part of my journey. With this episode, I just want to talk about my journey and how I got here to this moment, recording this podcast with this mic that I didn't even pay for. And I'll tell you exactly how that happened. My journey started when I was 26, 27. I was at a friend's place, and we were just lying there watching TV, and Oprah was on. Ellen DeGeneres was her guest, and they started talking about this book. They were like, "Oh my gosh, this book has changed my life." And Oprah was like, "Yeah, this book changed my life too." And I'm just like, "What book is this that changed Oprah and Ellen's life? Like, what is this book? I need this book. I need to know what this book is about." And at this moment, I was just like, kind of still partying with my friends and doing all this, going out, and not really focused on self, mostly focused on the exterior. So I was like, I gotta get this book. And the book was The Four Agreements. I got the book. It's a short read. So if you're not really into reading and you're just like, oh, nah, books are not my thing, get this book. This book completely changed my life. Ever since I read that book when I was 26, 27, I am 36, about to be 37. I have been on this journey of just self-discovery. Like, I have not stopped. That book is so powerful. And it made me realize there's more to life than just what you see. It made me realize there's a whole nother world inside. And just so much more from reading that book. I've read that book about 3 times since. So anyways, long story short, so continue on my journey. I've read so many different books that's really transformed my life. When you're doing self-work, it's a very painful process. It's not easy. That's why a lot of people don't do it. So I just continue on my journey, and I finally am in a place where, okay, I've been doing what I'm doing. I'm in the fashion industry. I moved to New York 2.5 years ago. I've learned so much about myself by just being in this place. I'm starting to feel like, okay, fashion is cool, but I need to do more. Like I've been doing all this self-discovery, self-exploration, reading. I know for a fact, like there's always something in you, in all of us that knows exactly what we're here for or what's innate to us to do. What's innate in me is to help people. It's always been like that. And my name is Brownie. My real name is Brownie. And you look at Brownie, it means basically little helper. And that's why I have that on my bio. You're a little helper because that's what I feel like I'm here for. Is help people. Even with doing fashion, I want to help the environment. I want to help people wear what they already have. I want to help people find hacks, and I want to help. Like I'm in that space when it comes to fashion. I'm not in the space where I want to show someone a dress and I need them to buy this dress from this company because they're paying me. That's not the space that I am in the fashion industry. I'm in the space of truly trying to help. But for years now, and I'm like, okay, so I'm doing all this internal work and I'm learning all these things and I'm having these great conversations with friends. I want to share this with everyone else. Like I want to share bits and pieces of things that have changed my life with other people. So resistance held me down. It starts to make you feel like you're not good enough. Like who's gonna listen to you? The way you talk is not good enough. The way you look on camera is not good enough. Um, the way you put your words together is not good enough. You stutter sometimes. You stumble on your words sometimes. It's just different little thoughts that I had, and I had to just be here today and sit through that and be like, okay, no, yeah, maybe so, but I'm still gonna do it. So let's get into the story of how I ended up sitting on this chair today. One thing, so I pray a lot. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual, I would say. But there's nothing wrong with being religious or not being religious. It is what it is. Whatever you want to do is what you want to do. Some of the prayers I told God, because I've had this thing on my heart of needing to speak, but I don't know what it was. Need to speak, need to start a podcast. And I asked God to show me clearly, if this is what I need to do, show me clearly. Like, show me clearly what path I need to be taking. I still love fashion. That's why I want to make this page fun. I want to make this page where I can still show you hacks and show you fashion tips and all this other stuff, but also speak about things that I really want to talk about as well when it comes to wellness, when it comes to life. So I said that prayer. And let me tell you something. With me, when I pray and I'm really connected, things happen almost instantly. So a week later, I go home and me and my sister go to this coffee shop by our house. And I'm sitting outside and there's a girl close by. She's sitting maybe, I would say 10 feet away from me. And I notice her, but I'm just like, we're all outside, we're all doing work, cool, whatever. So we come back to the same coffee shop that same week. And it's the same girl. This time she stops me. She says, oh, I saw you. I feel like this mic is so low. Hold on, yo. I got to adjust. I'm not used to podcast mics. You know what I'm saying? So the girl goes, I saw you yesterday. I was like, oh, yeah, I saw you too. How are you? Blah, blah, blah. Small talk. And then she was like, can I come sit with you guys inside? And my first thought was, I just want to, because I don't see my sister that often anymore because I moved to New York. I just want to sit with my sister and talk with her. But then I was like, you know what? That's bold of her asking. Let's go, because I want to make people feel included. That's just my thing. So I'm like, you know what? Come on, let's go. We go inside and we're just doing work. We're talking and she's cool. She's doing her work. She's kind of talking, we're talking here and there and it's cool. And then all of a sudden something happens and we start talking about horoscopes. And I was like, well, I have this app. It's called Pattern. And there's this chart on there. It's like a circle with a whole bunch of symbols and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. Do you know? Like, can you look at it? She's like, oh, okay, let me look at it. She looks at this chart and she just looks at it and starts like biting her lip and just looking at it and looking at it and looking at it. I'm looking at her like, you know? And then I was like, so what do you think? She's just like, well, and then let me tell you something. She reads me my rights. It's crazy because everything I'm about to mention that she said, I already knew. That's how I knew it was coming from God. She said that my life purpose here is to heal my subconscious. And if anybody that knows me knows that that's all I do. Since I was 26 till now, 10 years later, all I do is work on myself, read. Most of it, that's what excites me. I read, I want to become a better person. I want to grow. I want to remember who I am. I want to that's what really drives me. I'm good at a lot of things. I'm very talented. I will say that. It took me a long time to really recognize that. Very talented at what I do, but my main passion has always been to just better myself mentally, better myself spiritually, better myself emotionally. And that's just my thing. I never skip a day. I'm the most consistent in life I've ever been was working on myself. So she said, you're here to heal your subconscious. She said, what you do for work is probably not going to have anything to do with your purpose here, and which is fashion. But I love fashion, so it's like my outlet. I love to be creative, so it's nice to have, you know. So she said that. I was like, okay. And then she said, you need to start a podcast. When she said that, man, whew, I'm not trying to get emotional on this podcast. When she said that, my heart dropped. My heart dropped. Ooh, I did not want to cry because I knew already, you know? But it's so powerful. It's so powerful when you ask God for something and God presents it like that. You can't mix that up. And I told God, make it so clear that I cannot deny it. Because sometimes when God sends us signs, we're like, oh no, that couldn't be it, you know? Lord, I'm a Pisces, man. Once we start crying, Lord have mercy. I don't wear makeup, but I do have on mascara. I guess that is makeup, so I need to stop saying that. But when she said that, my heart dropped because I knew exactly what it was. So then I was like, okay, all right, so I have to start this podcast. Mind you, this was last year, 2024. And was it hot outside? I think it was hot outside. So this was probably in the summertime. So I said, okay, all right. And then she went on to say even more things that I knew that was straight up coming from the higher power. I knew it. And I was like, okay, so now I have to. And she even sat there and wrote down like a chart on like podcasts and how to do this. And she was just like, I was like, well, I love interviewing people. Like I have this page called Out of Style where I interview people, and it's not all about style. It's all about like life advice and like internal stuff, wellness. Like I love doing that. And she was just like, yeah, that's cool, but you need to talk in front of the camera. Like people need to see you and hear you talk first. I mean, you can always go back and interview people and stuff like that, but you need to talk. I was like, well, I want to interview people. And she was like, nah, you need to talk in front of the camera first, and then it could grow into whatever. And she said, if you do it, like it'll take off. And that's not what I'm in it for. But I was like, oh Lord, okay. So probably 6 months later, here I am. And the next part that really pushed me, you would think that would push me completely to do it, but it got me hyped for a little bit, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I made my little podcast chart, my flow chart, and then I was like, I ain't doing this. Like I was like, I'll do it, but I kept putting it off. And then Rode had this Rode mic, got this for free, had this competition where they were doing their Creator of the Year awards. And I was like, okay, great. I'm going to sign up for Out of Style because, you know, that's my wellness page, fashion page together. It's going to be great. Like I want to sign up for Out of Style. So I did. I finished turning the application for Out of Style, closed my laptop, and I don't know what popped in my mind was like, do it for High Fashion Thrift. And I was like, I don't even interview anybody. This is about mics, right? Like, why would I do it for High Fashion Thrift? That's what was in my head. But I saw that they had a fashion category while I was applying for Out of Style. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to apply for High Fashion Thrift. I didn't think anything of it. I just applied and showed my computer and whatever. And then I got an email about Out of Style, and they said, okay, you didn't make the cut kind of thing. I was like, okay, whatever. I wasn't even expecting it. And then I got an email in my High Fashion Thrift email, and it said, you have been shortlisted. I was like, what? Shortlisted? Okay. All right. So I was like, okay, whatever. So that's great. And again, I was just like, okay, there's so many people. It was like 11,000 plus people that applied to this. And I think 46, I know 46 people walk away with a trophy, cash prize, equipment. So I was like, okay, like whatever, shortlisted, that's awesome. They recognize, what I do. I got a text from my cousin and she was just like, oh, the results are out. You better have won. And I watched, they announced it on a YouTube video. I watched the YouTube video and People's Choice Award, they gave it to me. I was like, what the hell? Like, it was crazy, such a crazy, crazy feeling. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. This is great. Like, what? Told my family, we celebrated. So I knew you won some money, but I didn't know exactly how much I would win. And I didn't know what equipment I would win. I didn't know any of that. So when I got the email, they were like, hey, this is how much you won. And we're going to be sending equipment your way, plus your award. I was like, okay, cool. Equipment comes. Everything in there, this mic included, was literally, and hold on, and there's headphones over there too, and that I'm supposed to be using, but I couldn't figure it out, so I just like whatever. Everything in there was for a freaking podcast. It was the craziest thing. I feel like I'm leaning into my mic. I don't like that. Everything in there was for a podcast, and I was like, if this isn't a sign that you need to just go ahead and do this daggone podcast, then I don't know what else you need. So I seen it. I was like, okay, I'm definitely doing this podcast. But then I started lollygagging again, and that's resistance. I'm telling you, resistance is you just have to, there's no way around it, but just to just do it, just like I am right now. I didn't know I was going to film this podcast today, but I just said, okay, I'm going to set this microphone up. The microphone was giving me a headache. I don't even know if the sound is even picking up. I don't even know if y'all going to hear what I'm saying. But I was like, I'm going to figure it out. I kept watching YouTube videos. Some were so useless. They'll let you watch the whole video. Don't even give you no instructions. But I was like, today is the day I'm going to sit down. I'm going to do this podcast. So I'm here and I did it. And I kind of feel, in the beginning, I was very nervous. I don't know if you guys noticed. I could feel it. Now I feel a bit more calm. I don't know if I'm going to post this video or not. I just have to edit it and see how I feel. But hopefully I do, because I want you guys to know that, like, you don't have to do anything, but take this step. Like, listen to that voice in you. A lot of people, including myself till today, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what I'm here for. I don't know what I'm here for. I know I'm here to help. I don't know what way to do it, especially now. You have to, like, money is involved. I got to pay my bills, and I live in New York. It's expensive. So the time that I do spend on things, I need to make sure that, we get into the money. But that's not everything. So things that you feel like, man, my heart is in it. Like, I want to do this. Just literally do it, just like I did right now. I push myself past. Look at me. I'm in a robe. Like, I plan on having, like, looking halfway decent. But I was like, I'm just going to come as I am every episode. Whatever I'm wearing, whatever I feel, if I want to be outside, if I want to bring somebody on, if I want to interview somebody. I know so many interesting people and we have so many great conversations. I would love for you guys to just meet everybody and listen in on our conversations. I want to definitely start doing that. And I want to continue with these. And yeah, I would just love to hear from you guys. If anyone even watches this, I don't know, my page is pretty small. Let me know what you want to talk about as far as, like, anything. Like, I want to keep this page open. I don't want to box it into just one thing. You're going to be getting fashion from me, wellness from me, interviews. Like, it's all about, but everything, but the common denominator is going to be helping. Like, I'm your little helper. I'm not little, I'm 6'1", but I'm your little helper. So everything on this page is going to have to do with helping people in some way, some way. I don't know. I hope that you guys got even anything from this video. I just want to tell my story and how I got here before we get into more things that I want to talk about. And this is just a reminder too, before I go, you don't have to have everything to start. Like, I didn't need this mic. I didn't need any of this. I didn't need this headphones. I didn't need none of this. I just needed my phone and my voice. And if you're procrastinating starting something, you don't need all the fancy things. Literally just start. But also be patient with yourself. If you are lollygagging and you are doing what I did, that's still fine as well. Everything happens the time that it needs to happen. And there was no way I wasn't going to make this podcast. That's one thing I did know. I could have taken 5 years, I could have taken 10 years, but I knew that I had to start this podcast. So it started, we did it, and we gonna keep doing it. If you liked this video, leave a comment. Would love to hear from you. Leave a comment, like this video, subscribe, join the family, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye. Namaste, motherfuckers. Yeah, this was crazy.